No shot. For the first time in my lifetime, news of a Supreme Court ruling is leaked. They're overturning Roe v. Wade. Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. Draft opinion shows. Behold that Roe and Casey must be overruled, Justice Alito writes in an initial majority draft circulated inside the court. What the fuck is going on? Oh, Jesus Christ. Supreme Court has voted to strike down the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. Please tell me this is a fucking joke, right? There's no shot. Initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito circulated inside the court and obtained by Politico. The draft opinion is a full-throated, unflinching repudiation of the 1973 decision, which guaranteed federal constitutional protections of abortion rights, and a subsequent 1992 decision, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, that alleged that largely maintained the right. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Alito writes. We hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled, he writes in the document labeled as the opinion of the court. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion of the people's elected representatives. We are literally fucking regressing. And it's going to happen under a democratic administration. That's awesome. Now, for those of you who are freaking the fuck out, what does this mean? For red states, what this means is nothing is going to change. For blue states, what this means is nothing is going to change. Things are going to get much, much worse in red states, however. Red states have already started their effort to undermine Roe v. Wade and have been doing so even under Roe v. Wade. Other methods. The only way to actively fight back against this is by legislating or codifying some kind of federal abortion protections, which of course is not going to happen anytime soon. Not with this Congress. The level of social regression that we're currently experiencing is something that I did not imagine we would ever go through. It truly is mind-boggling. Straight up. At a time when other Catholic countries, like Ireland, for example, have gone forward, in Mexico, abortion is now legal. Think about that. Latin American countries that are significantly closer to religious fundamentalism in their way of governance have, as a consequence of also their material conditions that they've been subjected to, have taken progressive steps towards loosening the restrictions surrounding abortion. America is going in the exact opposite direction. A really great interactive map of if Roe is overruled. Abortion will remain legal in Nevada. Abortion will remain legal in, blue states, firmly blue states. But red states will 100%, as they have already started taking initiative, will make sure that abortion is completely illegal. And not only that, but they will continue. They will add additional measures, like, for example, Connecticut yesterday, or today, I guess, passed or is slated to vote for a bill that will make it so that a Connecticut resident can countersue someone in Texas if they are ever subjected to additional legal scrutiny for getting an abortion elsewhere. Because as it stands currently, some of these states, and they will definitely push for additional legislation at the state level to not only discontinue abortions, bar them from happening in the states, but then also on top of that, pursue you legally if you are a member of said state but went and got an abortion somewhere else. In an effort to combat that, states will then have to write countersuit legislation that allow people in Connecticut for be able to countersue those who sue them. Now, of course, the difference right now is that this is civil litigation that is backed by the government, right? Like that the state government will provide you, the opportunity to sue people, like the Texas law. When Roe v. Wade is overturned, you can go to jail. Because currently, the reason why Texas and Alabama and other states have different laws around Roe v. Wade, different laws on how to legislate away abortion, is because Roe v. Wade is the super precedent, right? Well, not anymore. What that means is that you have to get citizens to enforce, anti-abortion measures. Can't have the state government do it because it's federally protected. That will change, and therefore they can rewrite laws and literally make it illegal. Also, as this chatter is pointing out, you are correct. Then they will go after contraceptives. The next frontier of the anti-abortion movement is a potential federal legislation to outlaw abortion after 6 weeks. Yes, Connecticut is passing a bill to protect them. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was mentioning. Yes, Connecticut is passing a bill to protect abortion seekers and providers from out-of-state lawsuits. Yeah. Did you not hear what I said? I'm saying the state of Connecticut literally got a bill through Connecticut to protect people who are seeking abortion in Connecticut. And an opportunity to, countersue if there are out-of-state lawsuits that target them. You get it? This is crazy. This is actually madness, dude. Republicans are going buck wild, and if anything, this proves once again that simply voting hard is not working. Republicans are not even in power. They're just using any facet of power that they have. Any fucking facet of power that they have at the state level to basically fundamentally erode all manner of security and civil liberties that are afforded to marginalized people. Just remember that this conversation around abortion oftentimes goes to very weird places about baby murder or women being sluts or whatever, and simply about forcing women, okay, forcing people to carry pregnancies to term as though they are simply baby incubators. It's about ridding them of their bodily autonomy. That's it. And there is a million different studies that have been conducted on the matter. That time and time again, it's proven that abortions illegal does not stop abortions from happening. The fetus cannot live without the carrier, which is why making abortions illegal simply turns them into back alley abortions, which is very unsafe for the carrier. Then again, it's about punishing women anyway. So that is to be expected. While I'm in the process of having a conversation about abortion laws, why the fuck are you showing me Misgiv and saying Misgiv is copying your thirst post, chatter? Come on, brother. I mean, not the time and place, okay? Read the room. What's going on right now? Read the room. But he's literally copying you, though. I know he is. I know. I who cares? I didn't even. I mean, everyone is already doing that already in the replies. Look at this. Last straw. Time to get the old ovaries ripped out. Could overturning Roe v. Wade cause an upturn of Dems at the midterms? Dude, who gives a fuck? My friend, who cares if there's an upturn in the midterms for Democrats? What? Dude, I don't even what? Like I don't understand. What will this do for the Democrats' chances of winning over in the winning the midterms is like my least. I can't even comprehend a world in which like I care about what is going to happen to the Democratic Party. When the Democratic Party itself has shown time and time again that they are not defenders of your fucking rights. You know what I mean? I know you probably said that in a well-intentioned manner, but for the people in the chat asking, is Politico a reliable source? Yes. Neil Katyal, who is a Supreme Court lawyer and a law professor and an extremist centrist, is God. He scanned through it. My thoughts on the political story saying the court voted to say Roe v. Wade is fully overruled. I've quickly scanned the draft opinion and it appears it's fully legitimate. This means there was a preliminary vote to fully overrule Roe v. Wade and then the majority of the court agreed. There are lots of signals the opinion is legit. The length and depth of analysis would be very hard to fake. It says it is written by Alito and definitely sounds like him. It's 60 plus pages long. If this is a deep fake, it would require a state actor or someone like that. I can't imagine that. It's possible the court could pull back from this position, but this looks like they voted that way after the oral argument. The opinion says states can criminalize abortion with no rape or incest exception. It is exactly the hardline position I've been saying the court is going to impose for the last 3 years. It will set women back in profound ways. Congress must act ASAP. This is the equivalent of the Pentagon Papers leak, but at the Supreme Court. I'm pretty sure there has never been such a leak, and certainly not in the years I've been following the Supreme Court. I've never heard of a Supreme Court. I've literally never heard a Supreme Court fucking leak a decision ahead of time. Okay, that's not a thing. The last time a Supreme Court decision was leaked was, if this tweet is correct, I don't know, but I mean, they're a justice correspondent for The Nation. This is being leaked because they're afraid people will riot. Wait, what tweet says that last time that a Supreme Court decision was leaked was in 1986? People should riot. I mean, this is fucking crazy. Not, of course, I'm not saying that. Legally speaking, please do not riot. I would never say that. Rioting is bad and wrong, but like unavoidable in this circumstance. That's fucking insane. Of course, I would never say that. But this is fucking psychotic. The tweet with the sauce. Oh, that last leak in the Supreme Court about a decision in advance like this, I remember that was in 1986 on Graham Rudman Holdings. What? Dude, this is insane, dude. Nobody's gonna riot. Sorry, Americans are too beat down. Yeah, dude. Listen, what the fuck have I said? Always, you cannot, dude. The most significant part of our coalition is weaponized Karens, and this is a profoundly important. This is a profoundly important piece of legislation and a piece of liberty for white women specifically, in general, for women across the board. So let me tell you something, okay? You will be surprised, I think. And, you know, they were completely justified. There's no, you know, you don't understand, I think. Like, there is nothing that fucking riles up. There's nothing that riles up women, like, you know, telling them that the government is going to control what they can do with their own bodies. Understandably, I think. A pretty normal fucking reaction to the government being like, hey, by the way, like, you literally can't do something that you can do to your own body, if you will, with a safe medical procedure. So yeah, women do be wanting bodily autonomy. Am I right, fellas? You know, women be shopping and wanting bodily autonomy. They will, you know, they will fucking rise up for this. Yeah, this is go to his blog. This document linked to Politico is almost certainly an authentic draft opinion by Alito that reflects what he believes at least 5 members of the court have voted to support overruling Roe, but as Alito's draft, it does not reflect the comments or reaction of other justices. I mean, who gives a fuck? By the way, when I say just, it's not going to be just women that are rising up to this. I mean, I will fucking go out in the streets, you know. Yeah, this is bananas. This is completely fucking bananas. This is in tandem with DeSantis' "Don't Say Gay" shit is making me very doomer pill for the future. I mean, the "Don't Say Gay" and anti-trans bills. What is it? 250 anti-trans bills that have fucking been pushed by Republican majority legislatures all around the country. Like, they are once again ideologically aligned to fucking burn shit down, and they're motivated to do so. And that's what happens when you truly have a vision and motivation to do so. You actually get it done, right? We on the left, especially if you are a Democrat voter, do not understand what that's like, because outside of like Bernie Sanders and a few others, like maybe like Ed Markey on certain issues, you know what I mean? Outside of like a few fucking Democrats, when have you ever seen Democrats advocate for something and try to pass it by any means necessary, Democratic politicians by any means necessary, when it's not, I don't know, bipartisan support for a military bill or I don't know, fucking defending big pharma if it's important, if it's an important industry in your fucking in your state, or I don't know, tax credits for middle class suburbanites. That's it. Those are the only things that they fucking actively. The perverse attempt to create public pressure against the court by leaking this opinion should be prosecutable. It is absolutely unprecedented. I say then. Got it. When it turns out that it was a Sotomayor clerk or something similar, the media will immediately turn on producer a hero of democracy. They are a hero of democracy. Whoever leaked this is a fucking hero of democracy. Unless they are themselves responsible for fucking penning it, in which case they are not a hero. Bro, this is crazy. I mean, this is like I don't know what to say. I actually don't know what to say about it other than holy fuck. That's what I have right now in. This is abhorrent. Republicans won. What more do they want? Legitimately going to draw myself insane thinking about all the ways this could have been prevented if Democrats had even the slightest desire to actually wield power. No, literally. I mean, it's true. That's another issue here that is impossible to fucking address. But like, there is one side who is intellectually and ideologically aligned, and they have the motivation to do this. They have an agenda that they've set forward to do. Do they actually care if poor people can't get abortions? They don't give a fuck one way or the other. There is no real reason why the Republicans are doing this. They're not legitimately like, oh, we are stopping women from getting abortions because we think it's fucking murder. No, they don't give a fuck. It's poor people that won't be able to get abortions. They're fucking rich. They're rich girlfriends, okay, that they cheat on their fucking horrible ass cunty fucking wives with are going to be able to get abortions regardless. Their daughters are going to be able to get abortions regardless. It's the fucking poor people that are not going to be able to get abortions. So they don't give a shit. Okay? There is no real moral reason as to why they're doing this. It's not because they legitimately think it's like baby murder or some shit. Okay? It's because this will win them votes. Okay? That's it. This will win them votes in a tiny fucking sliver of 30% of white evangelical Christians who are completely psychopathic, okay? They are off the fucking they're off their rockers. They're completely insane and they get more deranged year after fucking year as the Republican Party keeps welcoming them into their fucking ranks and saying, "No, you're right, and we will do everything for you because you go out and you fucking vote." Meanwhile, the Democrats keep pushing away their fucking working class voters over and over again by over-promising, or not even fucking over-promising, under-promising, and then even then somehow under-delivering because they don't care. At least Republicans want to win. Democrats just want to fucking make money off of how horrible Republicans are. That's it. The only way that the Democratic Party wins elections in this country is by showing you how fucking horrible Republicans are. We are in a never-ending reactionary spiral, and of course these kinds of consequences are going to come out. Of course. Think about it this way. Biden teased possibly fucking removing or eliminating student loan debt, and Republicans immediately started chirping about how horrible of an idea that would be. Why? Because the Democratic Party, for once, gave the Republicans something to react to. Okay? We need to push for legislation, progressive legislation, even as a defensive measure, so that Republicans don't get comfortable and start killing gay people and trans people and women in general. Okay? But we can't even do that. Democratic Party won't even fucking put forward fake bills so that the Republicans have something to fucking yell about. So that there is like some kind of ideological distinction between either party. Perhaps there is no greater example of said devastating reality than what you're seeing right now. Joe Brandon won, right? Let's go, Brandon. He won. We own the fucking House of Representatives. We own the Senate. Why can't the Democrats do anything? They can't get anything done. Meanwhile, the Republicans are like, yep, YOLO, we're going to use the state legislature in majorities everywhere around the fucking country. We are going to use wherever we have a fraction of power to do whatever kind of cruelty that we want to do. Alito says abortion activists are trying to suppress the black population. Read the draft. It's fucking insane. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Wonderful. Suck Brandon's dick. You love him so much. What? They will most likely come after gay marriage too. And gay marriage is symbolic. Like, gay marriage itself isn't the fucking main issue. Obviously, there's a lot of financial components that and you know, moral components that are associated with it. But like, gay marriage is symbolic. It just meant that you couldn't shit on gay people anymore. Like, it was supposed to be normalized. But people never left that resentment. You know what I mean? So many people were never done with that resentment of like allowing gay people to exist comfortably in society and be out. And it's obvious. So that's coming next. But like I said, gay marriage, the abolition of gay marriage or whatever the fuck, and like turning marriage back into a state by state basis. Who knows what is next after this? That will, you know, states' rights as a means to defeat gay marriage will mean there will be additional scrutiny towards being gay in public. The entire argument is that abortions aren't in the Constitution and not protected constitutionally, and the ground Roe touched on it to make it a constitutional issue is shaky, and they want the political process of states making their own rules. Yeah, it doesn't matter. What have I always said, dude? There is no fucking legitimate reading on the Supreme Court justice. Motherfuckers just sit around. They just listen, dude. There is no real intellectual reason. Okay, there is no constitutional interpretation. It's bullshit. It's just literally putting intellectual patina over reactionary ideology. Okay, that's it. They're reactionaries. They're psychos. They're just trying to moralize it. That's it. Please, for the love of Christ, never give a fraction of notice and an ounce of legitimacy to motherfuckers who try to turn around and say, well, you know, we got to think about the constitutionality of this. Like, no, it's fucking bullshit. Even the Second Amendment, when you think about it, like, the interpretation of the Second Amendment that has created this fucking chaotic situation where there's more guns readily available than there are people in this country, that is a relatively new interpretation. That's not how the Second Amendment was ever interpreted for the entire history of America. Okay? But now it's the fucking rule of the law. Holy shit. Like, that's how we always thought about it, actually. It was never the case. It's the last 40 years that that interpretation has been so important, so profoundly important as a fucking, you know, as a law to uphold, a God-given law. Do not allow other fucking debate pervert idiots to try to dupe you into, try to trap you into this fucking dumbass argument. Dude, I hope this fucking crashes and burns the Supreme Court as an institution, by the way. Part of the reason why they didn't want to do this in the past was because they thought that this would severely undermine the intellectual, you know, the institution of the Supreme Court. Like, that was a big reason for why prior reactionary Supreme Court justices said that they would not do this. always been Roberts' POV, but he's lost control. I mean, yeah. Wait, what? When Trump put 2 justices in, didn't everybody say they were going to overturn Roe? So these libs need to chill? What do you mean libs need to chill? No, this is not a time to chill. This is the exact opposite time. This is exact opposite of chilling time, okay? This is time to not be chill. If there was ever a time not to be chill, this is it. Totally undermines whatever legitimacy the court claims to have. They could just flip-flop on their own decisions and they want precedent to cease to matter. Wait, what? No, that's never been the case anyway. It doesn't matter. That's never been the case. Motherfuckers, and by the way, another thing you shouldn't do is fucking ever for a moment's notice try to listen to liberals who will use this as an opportunity to be like, oh, fuck Bernie Sanders. He's the reason, okay? Fuck everyone. Fuck anyone and everyone that tries to turn this into, oh, this is actually Bernie's fault or some shit, okay? This is the establishment Democrats' fault. No one but the establishment Democrat is responsible for this other than the obvious Republicans, right? Do not allow that to be a fucking part of mainstay discourse. It is completely psychotic. The establishment Democrats put Hillary Clinton in a position of power, in a position of prominence. They thought that she would be able to defeat Donald Trump. She was fucking wrong. The establishment Democrats also were the ones who did not choose to retire Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who fucking croaked, okay, under Donald Trump. She was so confident in her ability to not fucking die that she literally went and officiated a goddamn wedding in the middle of COVID as a 900-year-old vulture who fucking had like cancer 100 times, okay? And then she fucking died. Like 2 weeks later after that. I don't know if she died of COVID, but she died. So if there's anyone to fucking get mad at, it's those who actually control, okay? Those who actually have their hands on the levers of power. And that is certainly not fucking Bernie Sanders or a bunch of dumbass leftists like myself or others on fucking Twitter. So don't be gaslit by idiots who try to turn this around and get mad. Ain't you Muslim? As a Muslim, you shouldn't be saying that shit, bro. For real? What the fuck? Suck my dick. Your fault, pussy? What? Yeah, no, I did this. Yeah, no, I'm responsible. Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Yes, I know. Stay in my lane. Well, I'd love to be posting about the Met Gala, but this is the only attendee I care about. President Hillary Clinton would never let Roe be overturned. Dude, this is crazy. I really I don't know what to say. I am at a loss for words. This is same opinion takes swipes at legalized gay marriage. Alito's draft opinion explicitly criticizes Lawrence v. Texas legitimizing sodomy and Obergefell v. Hodges legalizing same-sex marriage. He says that, like abortion, these decisions protect phony rights that are not deeply rooted in history. Bro, if these motherfuckers get what they want, they will literally they will criminalize miscegenation again. Okay? They would just No more race mixing, you know? Why stop? Why stop at just gay marriage? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I can't. I mean, yeah, we did have a senator talking about Loving v. Virginia. Yeah. I don't know. Alito's draft opinion gives a shout out to Amy Coney Barrett's theory that safe haven laws diminish the need for abortion by allowing new parents to relinquish their child lawfully. Alito's draft overturning Roe v. Wade, Roe and Casey approvingly cites Clarence Thomas's debunked claim that abortion is a tool of eugenics against black people. Alito's draft opinion explicitly criticizes Lawrence v. Texas and Obergefell. Alito's draft opinion gives a shout out to Amy Coney Barrett's theory that safe haven laws diminish the need for abortion by allowing new parents to relinquish their child lawfully. I love how it seems that they're trying to do this at night while the Met Gala happens. I mean, I don't think they give a fuck about the Met Gala one way or the other, my friend. I think this is something that they've been working towards for a while. I legitimately did not think that they were going to do this. I thought that this would be too much of a fucking... Like, it's too much of an awesome way for Republicans to cause division. You know what I mean? Without actually doing it, because they're functionally doing it in red states anyway. I literally thought that this was like a good way to dangle that carrot in front of the fucking the white evangelical Protestants. And I thought for that reason that they wouldn't go as far as to like fucking actually do this. But yeah, it's wild. And for the record, yes, American support for overturning Roe v. Wade has never dipped under 50%. Like, so there's that too. There's that to consider as well. So the idea that like Americans are conflicted on this is a silly one. Depending on what you're looking at, depending on what holy shit, the Supreme Court is putting up barricades. Barricades are around the Supreme Court building just minutes after reports from Politico were leaked indicating SCOTUS has voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. I'm not trying to be cringe or bait, but the ad break passed. Yeah. I know. I'm going to run it right now. Sorry. I have to pee as well, but I'm going to run the 60-second ad break. I forgot to run it the last hour or two. And then we're going to... Fuck, dude. This is like... This really put into perspective all the fucking dumbass infighting and leftist shit that is completely irrelevant, didn't it? Theory for the 5 gifted subs. Marjorie Taylor Greene's take on... Oh, with a video? Oh, Jesus, she's celebrating it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to run the ad break right now, and I'm going to play it. I'm going to pee, and then I'm going to come back real quick to listen to it. Jesus fucking... What a disgusting monster.
Hi, everyone. This is Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I just want to make an announcement, and I'm sorry I'm overwhelmed with emotion because this is the best news of our lifetime. The Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. There's a draft opinion out now to overturn Roe versus Wade, and this is a great victory. It's a great victory for God and the unborn who have been innocently slain for years, my entire lifetime. And I'll just read this. It says, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. Over 63 million unborn have been murdered in the womb. Innocent people. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. And this was from Justice Samuel Alito in his initial draft, his majority opinion. I want to urge everyone to continue to pray. People all over our country, people all over the world have been praying to end abortion. And I want you to understand that there is going to be a major pushback in our country because there's going to be people that are going to fight to keep it. And they're going to fight to keep murdering the innocent unborn. But I want you to dig in.
That's a abortion that should have happened but didn't. Okay, if there's any if there's any fucking proof that, like, everyone should be getting abortions, is Marjorie Taylor Greene's parents. I don't even think she has parents though. I think they were just manifested. Dude, I'm glad though. Hey, listen, guys. I know the abortion stuff's popping off, but while I was peeing, I found a way that psychos can still use the abortion stuff to be like, dude, you fucking suck. Let's look at that. Hold on. Where is this? Roe v. Wade is getting overturned. This dude is out here mad he didn't get an invite. You really showed you care about Roe v. Wade, brown trans game chick plant mama. Bylines in the Pace magazine. Don't you live in a mansion and drive a Porsche, says bimbo Marxist. Cash at me, please. Thanks, guys. To be fair, if anyone knows wealth inequality better than a guy who spent equivalent of 10 full years of my disability benefits on a Porsche. Collagen machine broke. They, them, y'all. Young, photogenic, internet savvy, heartbreaking, Esquire will do disability justice. You know me, I fucking hate disability rights, so. It's awesome. Cool. No, it really shows everybody's interests and efforts, and what they truly care about is a way to make it seem like I'm the one who's still talking about it.
Overwhelmed with emotion because this is the best news of our lifetime. The Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. There's a draft opinion out now to overturn Roe versus Wade, and this is a great victory. It's a
Bro, she can't even fucking fake cry. What a
great victory for God and the unborn who have been innocently slain for years, my entire lifetime. And I'll just read this. It says, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. Over
they should been aborted. Aren't. Am I writing conceived wrong? Oh, I'm putting the I before the E. Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe v. Wade as law of the land in this country now, and if there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, and there are not, we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. The weirdos are out on Fox News right now. Oh, I'm sure they're fucking doing the touchdown end zone dance. Oh, look at that. Josh Hawley. Let's see what Missouri Senator Josh Hawley is.
Time to heed the Constitution, return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. There's been a lot. I have a lot of skepticism, although I do find Professor Dershowitz's theory very fascinating.
Professor
interesting,
Dershowitz?
plausible, all the above. So I really don't know what.
That's sick. Having notorious, allegedly pedophile, but definitely notorious best friend of fucking Jeffrey Epstein, Alan
Sean
Dershowitz
reads
on.
a lot like Justice Alito.
The
I've
Dersh,
worked at that court. I've litigated at that court. I'm reading this leaked opinion tonight, and I think it's legitimate. This to me, and there are details in this that would be very hard to know. Details in the reporting about when the justices voted, about how they voted at conference. It's pretty hard to make that up out of whole cloth.
And
there are
Taylor
all kinds
Greene.
of indicators here that it sounds like somebody who really does know. And I can tell you, there's a small universe of people who would know the details that are in that report. Basically, we're talking about a justice or clerks or maybe an employee, someone who works in one of the justices' offices. But it's not very big, Sean. And I have to tell you, it sounds real to me, and I think this is plainly an attempt by the left to try and change the outcome in this case and corrupt the process. And the court must not allow that to happen.
Senator, this has never happened in the history of the court, certainly not in my lifetime. Professor Dershowitz can't remember a single instance. What does that mean if somebody would leak what is only a draft, it's not a completed document, to potentially alter the outcome of a Supreme Court case? Well, I've got to imagine laws might apply there for the person responsible, no?
Well, certainly the ethics rules for lawyers. If this was a lawyer who did this, a clerk, or anyone who practices law, who is
they're talking about the leaker. They're more focused on the leaker. That's
what
what they care about. Imagine, I can't believe the devastation this brings upon the Supreme Court. I mean, it's so inappropriate that they're leaking. It's crazy. It's like, who gives a fuck, dude? Who gives a fuck, jackass? Are you fucking stupid? Fuck the sanctity fuck the sanctity of the Supreme Court.
It's an assault on the court, Sean, and it's got to be taken seriously. And the Chief Justice is now going to be the one who has to do this inside the court.
Let's ask you, Senator, one last question. As conservatives, as constitutionalists, we believe and I've argued for years that this is bad law, an enumerated right not in the Constitution. And according to part of the draft, it addresses that question by saying the Constitution does not prohibit the citizens of each state from regulating or prohibiting abortion. Roe and Casey arrogated that authority. We now overrule those decisions, return that authority to the people and their elected representatives. Isn't that the argument conservatives have made for a long time? Because I would anticipate if this were the final decision, that this would be an issue that would be demagogued to death, and we'd hear things like back alley abortions and coat hangers, things, for example, that the late Senator Ted Kennedy tried to say about Justice Bork, which were not true about him at the time.
Yeah, what this draft opinion says is that this is an issue for the voters, and that's exactly right, Sean. The Constitution is silent on this issue. That means that it is up to the people to decide in the 50 states. And it's really an issue that should be debated in the democratic process in the states. And that's where this opinion, if indeed this becomes the majority opinion, that's where it would leave it. And that is exactly right under the Constitution. The people should get to decide, not 9 justices wearing robes who aren't accountable to anybody.
All right. We really appreciate it. Senator Josh Hawley, thank you for joining us last minute.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. All right. Here with more, author of the big new book, Suppression, Deception, Snobbery, and Bias, Why the Press Gets So Much Wrong and Just Doesn't Care. Ari Fleischer is with us, along with former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee and Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Well, I know we got a lot going on with this story breaking here, and you guys are free to talk about it. One of the things that America is dealing with, especially with what we call the Ministry of Truth issue, which seems to be a big part of the topic of your book, Ari Fleischer, your new book that's coming out soon. People can get a first edition copy at Amazon or Hannity.com. But the fact is, the media gets it wrong constantly. They get it wrong on purpose. They get it wrong because they have an agenda. They get it wrong. The very things they accuse talk show hosts, members of the press, that do straight news investigative reporting and say they give opinion, they do themselves, don't they?
Yeah, they did, and particularly during the Trump era when they made...
Bro, why they got 4 fucking dudes that look like botched abortions on here talking about this shit, dude? Straight up. Like, this is medical malpractice in display. You know what I mean? You just... These are abortions that didn't take. They should have tried twice. Fucking abortion survivor
the ruling
Andy's
itself,
over here.
I accept and respect that ruling. But the leaker...
Oh,
Make
the
no
leaker.
mistake,
Oh,
Sean,
God,
this
the
is an
leaker.
insurrection against the Supreme Court. I've already seen people on the left celebrating this leaker, calling him brave, trying to throw a Hail Mary to stop the
Sometimes you
ruling
got to
from
double
being
tap
issued.
on the abortion,
Who
straight
at the
up.
Supreme Court will trust each other now if they know that their drafts are going to be leaked, just like everything else in Washington. The Supreme Court seemed to be the last institution standing that had internal integrity. This is an insurrection against the court, and it needs to be found who did it, and whatever legal means can be
wild. It is wild that they're more mad. They're not even. They are literally so good at deflecting. They're not even fucking doing the touchdown dance. You know what I mean? They're not even fucking celebrating it because they're like, we know that people are going to get mad, so let's get mad at something first. Let's get mad at who leaked this really important thing, undermining the integrity of the Supreme Court. Dude, fuck the Supreme Court, okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I don't care. Fuck the Supreme Court. Fuck every single Supreme Court justice. They can suck my dick, okay? Straight up. Who gives a fuck about the integrity of the Supreme Court? They are literally undermining the overwhelming majority of American people's opinion on what they themselves consider to be a fucking super precedent. Like, all these fucking fake reactionary judges literally were like, well, man, Roe v. Wade is a super precedent. It's a super precedent. What happened? I thought it was a super precedent. I thought it had been established that Roe v. Wade was the law of the land, and it was the adequate interpretation. So why is it no longer a super precedent all of a sudden? When you have a super majority, oops, I guess it's not a super precedent, right? Not that it fucking mattered. It never mattered.
It tells me that there are no accidents and there are no consequences. They went to Politico, obviously, for a reason here. And documents and drafts like this, Sean and guys, are leaked because, and Greg pointed out before...
Yeah, decades of lies from Justice Alito and his ilk about the respect for the president and not legislating from the bench. All of this was just complete and utter bullshit and self-evidently so. Yep, there it is. We emphasize that our decision concerns the constitutional right to abortion and no other right, Alito writes. Nothing in this opinion should be understood to cast doubt on the precedents that do not concern abortion. Yep. There you go, dude. They literally all fucking said Roe v. Wade was a super precedent, okay? That's why you can't trust any of these motherfuckers. They're all liars. And I said that they were all fucking liars. But it doesn't matter. 9 geriatric fucks could just completely undermine the will of the majority of Americans. The entire institution is just fundamentally broken top to bottom, dude. It absolutely sucks. So fucking bad. Straight up. Here, let's tune into CNN. Let's see what the fuck they're talking about. If they're covering the Met Gala, I'll lose my mind.
And Jeff is right, Anderson. I mean, I don't know what this how the Supreme Court recovers from this, both with regard to how much it's going to galvanize opposition on the left and frustration on the left and hostility on the left
oh, no.
to the perception that the court is acting politically, and to just the optics and the politics of the leak. And of the fact that this is a court that has historically kept its opinions incredibly close to the chest. And here we are, perhaps weeks, months away from the final decision, and we have this 98-page draft that, certainly looks like it's a complete draft opinion purporting to overrule these 2 critical precedents. So,
for those of you who don't know what a super precedent is a phony terminology. Again, all of this shit is made up. Phony terminology created to say, like, well, this is well established. This is a well-established precedent that this constitutional amendment stays no matter what. Our interpretation of this is that because it's been tested time and time again, and because the public has routinely agreed with the broad popular support, that this is not just a regular precedent for something. It's a super precedent, as in it's unchanging. We're not going to go in and try to reinterpret it. We're not going to change it. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter because it's a fucking lie, as you have seen, okay? So it's just still bullshit. It's bullshit. It was all bullshit. It was always bullshit. They fucking leaked it themselves. I don't know who leaked
states
it. I
like
doubt that they would leak it
Texas and the
themselves.
more than 20 states across this country that have a trigger law of some form or fashion, these people who cannot afford the ability to leave work, to find care for the children that they already have, to afford to travel and have a procedure elsewhere in the overnight stays, they are going to be trapped in a situation of forced pregnancy. And if Texas is any indication, even leaving the state, even donating to organizations that help people to leave the state, that too is going to become against the law. Not only with civil penalties.
That's going to be illegal. It's like, it's literally aiding and abetting abortion. A criminal act is going to be treated like aiding and abetting a criminal act. Like, you know, you're going to get, I mean, maybe they won't give you like federal punishments or anything like that, but because I don't know if they can push for that. But yeah, at the state level, if you have the unfortunate spawn point of being born in one of these fucking red states, they will literally prosecute you criminally. Before this happened, they were trying to prosecute you through civil litigation, opening up the state legislature to, at the very least, like I don't know, fucking have some kind of ward for catching someone in the act of doing an abortion or something like that. But now you're gonna have fucking, you already ratioed MTG. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything because ratioing women across the country with her fucking attitude. The bounty system is a way. Hold on, let me just go back to this. The bounty system that they currently have in Texas is simply a way to get around Roe v. Wade. When Roe v. Wade is gone, they could just jail you. They can, and they will, and they have historically, and even now, criminalized miscarriages. Okay? They have criminalized miscarriages. Okay? And that is what's going to happen, because the difference between a miscarriage and an abortion is hard to fucking comprehend. It's hard to figure out. How are you going to figure out if this was a back alley abortion or was a simple miscarriage? Are we going to start prosecuting women who are pregnant, who fucking drink alcohol or do, I don't know, physical labor, for example? You don't know. How are we going to do that? And we have done it in the past, for the record. I've covered this before. I've shown you the video before. Like, in America, there have been instances where women have been punished criminally for having miscarriages. It's great.
Was not part of that vote because what we believe is that the chief was ready to uphold the Mississippi law that was a ban on abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, that he had the majority for that part of it, a 6-justice majority, but he is not with what appears to be Samuel Alito writing for a 5-justice majority that would be Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, and the 3 new appointees of President Donald Trump. Again, this is what...
For the record, like, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I mean, I did. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I told people to vote for Hillary Clinton, unfortunately, even though, you know, I knew that she was fucking dog shit. And it didn't work. And guess what? Do you want to know why? So did Bernie Sanders. So did fucking... Bernie Sanders literally ran... Bernie Sanders campaigned for Hillary Clinton harder than Hillary Clinton did. It didn't work. Who was responsible for that? The establishment Democrats. Don't ever fucking let a single one of these fucking sick, twisted freaks on the liberal side try to make it seem like it was Bernie Sanders' fault or some shit like that. Okay, this is 100% the fault of the establishment Democrats, who only operate as controlled opposition and not a serious fucking party with actual goals. Okay, actual goals that they will do everything and anything to push for or defend. You're also ignoring the Electoral College. I mean, the system is also fundamentally reactionary and fundamentally right-wing as a consequence of, like, it being designed by slave owners. You know, that kind of plays a serious role in it as well. Obviously, everything is fucked from top to bottom. And that's why you can have fucking 9 dickheads decide, fuck everything else. Fuck millions of women in this country. We will forcibly make you carry pregnancies to term. Reminder of one way folks fought abortions in Mexico not too long ago. Less than a year later, the Mexican Supreme Court ruled that having an abortion is not a crime. Here are the feminists in Mexico City fighting to defend autonomy and the right for an abortion. And Mexico is a country that still has like a fuckload of femicide. You know what I mean? They still have a shitload of issues. Uteruses in red states, please look into mugwort teas to force miscarriages. Obviously not as good as the real thing, but could be the only option. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. If you can, you're in a red state, you can go to Mexico and get one, I guess. So there's that.
On that major question, what I believe has been happening is that the chief, as I say, was ready to uphold the Mississippi ban on abortion after...
Bro, you think white Americans are going to slide like that? I hope to push back, but I don't see it. Dude, you're crazy. I don't think you understand. Maybe I'm wrong, but I legit think, like, if there's one fucking issue that pisses off white Americans, especially white women who are very active in politics, who are very fucking active in political movements, and you can't have political movement without white women in general especially, but you're going to see a lot of fucking pushback about this. Dude, look at the fucking... I mean, look at the Women's March. Yeah, sure, it was like lib shit, but that was insane. That was massive. Think about how massive Women's March was. Sure, it wasn't consequential ultimately, and it didn't fucking matter because it was directionless, and it was just, we're angry at Donald Trump and want to show it. But now there is a direction, and that direction is specifically about a significant reproductive health issue for women. They will get fucking, they will push back on this a lot. Dude, abortion rights at the peak of white feminism. There are definitely going to be protests. There should. See, I'm not saying that to undermine it, obviously, but yes, like white feminism thrives off of standing in opposition to people trying to restrict abortions. And when you have white feminists on your side, your movement will get an insane amount of support. Like I would go so far as to say way more than fucking Black Lives Matter, straight up. Like BLM was commodified. BLM was taken over by corporations, Walmart throwing up the black fist and stuff. But like ultimately this shit, I mean, this is big. There will be a tremendous amount of institutional support for this. I don't know what will change as a consequence of it, but there will be support.
How many states do you think would still continue to, if it goes to state legislatures, how many states do you think would actually still continue to allow abortions to take place?
Here's what we know. We know that there are 26 states that are poised and ready and emboldened, quite frankly, because of this court to overturn Roe in their own states, right? Once the federal protection is gone, it means that the states will now be making these decisions. And we've already seen it, as I said, in Texas. We've seen Florida move to 15-week bans. Arizona move to 15-week bans. We've seen Oklahoma, Idaho move to 6-week bans. We will see 26 states move to ensure that we no longer have control over our own bodies to make these decisions about ourselves, about our families. And that is actually what is truly devastating right now. So they forecast this in the draft opinion, however it was leaked, which is unprecedented in it itself. But what's also unprecedented is the fact that we have had this right for 49 years. For 49 years, we have fought to make sure that we are able to make these decisions, not some lawmakers down the street, not somebody who honestly doesn't even know how our bodies work. And now they are determined to take this right away from us to control our own self-determination. That is what is happening right now with what we see in the draft opinion.
So what, for Planned Parenthood, what is the next step?
We are obviously in conversation right now as we speak. The coalition, the Liberate Abortion Coalition, is on the line. They are strategizing about all ways in which we are going to show up. We know that this decision is going to enrage people. We know, we've already seen what's happened when people find out that when they found out what was happening in Texas, they started filling state houses in Florida. They started filling state houses in other places because they know that the fight right now is on the ground and in these states. And so we are going to continue to capture that rage, and we're going to continue to make sure that they understand who is accountable right now. The last administration appointed 3 justices who will be responsible for us losing a constitutional right that we have held for 49 years. And those people who empowered that administration, the justices, the folks who would not vote for the Women's Health Protection Act, those folks are going to be held accountable so that we know when we move into this next election cycle, from the state legislature to the DA, to the Senate, to the governors, we are going to be making sure that in each and every state where we can fight, that we are ensuring that people understand what's at stake right now. It's literally their
American conservatives get everything they asked for and then scream that it wasn't given to them perfectly.
What really troubles me, not about the ruling itself. If that's the ruling itself, I accept and respect that ruling. But the leaker. Make no mistake, Sean, this is an insurrection against the Supreme Court.
Metro DC DSA is going to be rallying. Is this the official DC DSA bringing socialism to the nation's capital? DC DSA is going to be holding a rallying on the steps of the Supreme Court beginning at midnight tonight. Banning abortions will harm millions of people, especially people of color and working class people. See you there. It's the real account. The real insurrection was leaking a Supreme Court paper a month early. Dude, this is wild. Look, states' rights, boys. That's the name of the game. That's it. States' rights all the way. Remember, anytime a motherfucker tells you states' rights, anytime they try to tell you states' rights, understand that person is just a horrible monster of a human being. Okay, same thing that they fucking did during the Civil War, during the Confederacy. Same thing that they're going to be doing for any fucking kind of legislation that they're undermining. They're going to say, hey, we're giving this right back to the fucking people, back to the legislators at the state level. That's what it needs to be. That's what it needs to happen. That's what's going on. Oh, the leaker is actually bad. We're going to do states' rights.
I've already seen people on the left celebrating this leaker, calling him brave, trying to throw a Hail Mary to stop the ruling from being issued. Who at the Supreme Court will trust each other now if they know that their drafts are going to be leaked, just like...
Oh, dude, that's great. We warned you for years, but some of you in the lofty lefty platforms told people not to vote Democrats to send a message in 2010. You didn't heed our warnings in 2016. Now you are shocked that the Republican Supreme Court will overturn Roe, but you should be ashamed. Hey, quick, check what Henry Cuellar's position on all this is and whose mom is campaigning for him right now. Fucking Felix with a great dunk already. First thing that liberals are doing, I'm trying so hard not to fucking focus on dumbass liberals who are like literally using this as an opportunity, as every other opportunity, to fucking find a way to cut out fucking leftists and be like, this is why, this is because of leftists. Because of leftists that this is happening. What is this? What did he say? I would hate it if they all brought guns to their jobs. Okay, dude, Jesus Christ. I do not condone. I condemn. Little known fact, but the Democratic Party currently controls Congress and the presidency and can pass a law that enshrines a woman's right to choose. Could they? I don't know. Liberals, I'm gonna tweet about it. I didn't want to tweet about it, but so many fucking liberals are tweeting about it. I'm gonna tweet about it, I think. Where you going? All right, have fun. No, it's just like liberals will use bodily autonomy to scream about sound like such a dad just then. Oh yeah, no, I know. By the way, in all of this is completely unrelated, but I do think that Pelosi deleted it. Oh no, did she? No, she didn't. No, she didn't. It's still there. I still see it. We warned you for years. Hey, quick, check what Henry Cuellar's position on all this is and whose mom is campaigning for him right now. On the same day, the Met Gala celebrates Gilded Age. The Supreme Court does its best to make sure America returns to the Gilded Age. Yeah, except none of those people that are at the fucking Met Gala are going to be impacted. I'm not going to be impacted. People that live in California are not going to be impacted. You know who's going to be impacted by this? Poor people, okay? That's it. If you live in a red state, if you're poor, if you... that's it. If you're poor, you're fucked. If you live in a red state, you're fucked. That's it. Those are the people who are going to get fucked by this. Red state doesn't equal poor. I'm saying if you're poor in a red state, though, you're definitely fucked. If you're rich in a red state, you're fine. People that go to the Met Gala are fine. They're not impacted by this in the least bit. I mean, they'll get mad about it. All the rich conservatives will still be able to get abortions for their fucking mistresses and their wives and their daughters if they want to. Okay?
Like everything else in Washington, the Supreme Court seemed to be the last institution standing that had internal integrity. This is an insurrection against the court, and it needs to be found who did it, and whatever legal means can be taken against them needs to be taken. What really troubles me...
Come on, dude, please don't make jokes right now. Happening, you're like still trying to fucking make like snarky fucking jokes that idiots on Twitter are making, reminding me that those idiots exist.
Abortions take place. We can go back. It wasn't that long ago when the coat hanger analogies were used left and right, Pam Bondi, in spite of the fact that we all know that if this decision comes down this way, that the law would then be made by the states, by the people and their elected representatives, if in fact that language is accurate, which, by the way, would be constitutional, which is why conservatives have argued for years that this is bad law and it's a right not that given that it was not enumerated in the Constitution. So, but it would be demagogued. I believe Leo's right on that point.
Of course it would, Sean. But the law is the law, and if this opinion is accurate, true, which I think it is, it will go back to the states, which is where it's always belonged. We know that. That was bad law from the beginning. And if you want to live in Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, where it's going to be outlawed, especially late-term abortions, then don't live in our states. Well, you can go to California, New York, New Jersey, the liberal states, where they will have the options. It's not an outlaw overall of an abortion ban, but it's headed in the right direction for the states to be handling it.
We have about 30 seconds left. How many states would likely ban all abortions under all circumstances?
Oh, it won't even be that bad anyway.
Not many, if any.
Yeah, totally,
Leo,
totally.
Real quick.
I would say if I was to give
hey, dumbass, that doesn't mean anything. He means like in case of incest and rape, by the way. That's what he's talking about, all circumstances.
0 to 3.
They won't ban it for incest and rape, guys.
Same. I would say 3. But again, remember, Sean, this is dealing with late-term abortions as well. So I think it's going to make a tremendous difference in the pro-life movement, assuming this opinion gets issued legally.
We'll have more tomorrow. Pam, thank you. Leo, thank you. That's all the time we have left this evening. Please set your DVR, never miss an episode. Thank you for making the show possible. Let not your heart be troubled. Laura's next. See you tomorrow night.
I'm Laura Ingraham, and this is a Fox News alert. Tonight, Politico is reporting on a leaked draft.
What are you going to do? You're barren anyway. That's why you have like 8 fucking adopted children. Shut the fuck up. This does not matter you, okay? This is not a matter of concern for you. You can't have children. I'm sorry. I'm being sexist. If you're going to get mad at me, you can. But, like, shut the fuck up.
This returns the abortion issue to the states,
Dumbass.
which pre-Roe is where it always was. So, in other words, some states will allow abortion liberally. Some states might ban it. Some will find what they believe is a middle ground. But I want to say this very clearly tonight. No matter what you think about this outcome, the leak itself represents a shocking and unprecedented breach of the court's confidentiality, which is sacrosanct. And it's key to the court's ability on any issue to engage in the give and take and all the decision making that's required to reach these decisions.
I'm literally eating the greatest cookie of all time and drinking a glass of oat milk, and I'm still mad. I'm sorry. Oh man, the integrity, dude.
Who clerk at the court, especially the law clerks. They are afforded a tremendous privilege.
The cookie.
Think about it, to work
it's so
at the
thick.
court,
It's from Brady's
to
Bakery.
learn
It's
from
the
the
greatest
justices.
cookie I've ever had.
But the inviolable deal that you strike when you accept that clerkship, which is the most coveted thing you can have as a young lawyer,
fever is coming back.
is that you swear confidentiality regarding everything you see and everything you hear. And especially the internal deliberations of the court, especially that. It is not up to a law clerk to decide when the decision of the court will be announced. And it is not up to a law clerk
the right is so
or
good
any
at
employee of the
messaging.
court to leak
The right is so good at messaging. They're all screeching about the fucking leaker, dude. They jumped on it and they're all fucking screaming about the leaker. They're so good. Instant unity. They're so good. Learn lessons from these fascists, okay? They are organized. They are united. They will do everything they fucking can to push for goals, no matter how vulturous, no matter how pathetic, no matter how psychotic, no matter how bloodthirsty it is. Okay? What did the liberals do? All they're doing right now is tweeting about Bernie Sanders, dude. That's what liberals rush to do.
court said to all of us, now there are 9 justices, 4 clerks for each chambers usually, about 36, and then a couple of the retired justices still have clerks that are still at the court. But it's not many young people, right? It's about 36, 40 young lawyers. He looked at us and he said, if you leak anything from this court, you can kiss your legal career. Bye-bye. Done. Yeah, we remember that. And through the entirety of the court's history, no matter how controversial or disruptive the court's decisions have been, and I'm talking decades of decisions on freedom of religion, rights of criminals, same-sex marriage, none of those draft opinions ever leaked. You know why? Because everyone in that building understood that was a line that could never be crossed. And it is a sad commentary that someone in that building took it upon himself or herself to totally usurp the role of the justices and hijack the court's deliberative process. This was a bald-faced attempt to tip the balance of the vote one way or another. We know which way. The leaker undoubtedly hopes, right, that this leaked opinion will drive activists to the court's doors. Remember, they were desperately banging on the doors during Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing? And they think that's going to have an impact. All the activists outside screaming, people with all the colorful signs. That's going to have some impact. That will have one of the justices in the majority change his or her vote.
Bald hard pussy?
But once again,
you're talking about her.
It looks like the left will just smash an established government process to get their way.
I hope.
Do anything in their power
I mean,
to
legally
stop
speaking,
a principled
I hope some smashing happens legally, of course. One can only hope.
This leaker is going to be sorely disappointed and should be immediately discovered and disbarred. Joining me now, Jonathan Turley, GW University law professor, Fox News contributor, and Harmeet Dillon, civil rights attorney and CEO for the Center for American Liberty. We also hope to be joined by former DOJ lawyer James Trusty in just moments. Professor Turley,
look how devastated he is.
I am. This is one of those things I thought I would never see in my life. I've seen a lot in my time in Washington. I've been here way too long. Yeah. This is one of the most destructive things that I can ever imagine to happen to our legal system.
Bro,
take it away.
Bro, she's not talking about the fucking overturning of Roe v. Wade. She's talking about the leaker, dog.
Supreme Court. And I really didn't think this day would come. That's a strange thing to say in a city that literally floats on leaks. The only island in that sea that did not have leaks was the Supreme Court. And it existed on a level of integrity that is all too foreign today in politics. And to see people celebrating today this leak is perhaps the most disturbing thing of all. It just seems that there's no ethical rule or institutional value that can withstand this age of rage. What happened with this leak caused lasting damage to the Supreme Court. I think that the court will never be quite the same because it has always existed, as you said, Laura, on an understanding of people of good faith that believed in that institution, believed truly in each other, even though they disagreed.
Probably think about a bunch of fucking, again, geriatric pedophiles who probably do like weird tantric sex cult shit get to determine the future of American women like this. You know what I mean? It's wild. Something should be done about it, I think.
The justices are more likely to dig in. The second greatest blow to the court would not just be after the leak itself, would be if the justices did cave to external pressure. So this has turned everything into a morass. And what this person did cheapened the institution to a degree that is breathtaking. You know, that I don't know why I maybe it was the last area of naivete that I had left after years in Washington. But I truly never thought we'd come to this moment.
Well, Harmeet, we've been hearing now for the last year plus from Democrats that they exist merely to, really at this point, to safeguard democracy, right? The other cables have been spending, since January 6th, they're the true guardians of democracy. All the institutions, all the norms are being protected by Joe Biden and the left. What do we see tonight with this having happened?
Well, Laura, I mean, there's so many thoughts going through my mind as a lawyer for the pro-life movement, as a constitutional lawyer, and also some.
I mean, video game yourself. Listen, I think fucking Republicans are so well organized that they're like, this is like a game for them. You know what I mean? I feel like they're gonna turn around and I don't know, help like the Democrats a little bit so that it's more fun for them at this point. Because there's, God forbid, I mean, there's no other way that the left is going to organize itself. Not the left, but I mean like the Democratic Party. Said female Bruno. I mean,
There was a consensus in this country about abortion. It doesn't fit in the jurisprudence of the 14th Amendment. When you look at the Mississippi law itself, it provides exceptions for the life of the mother and for significant fetal defects. So it isn't even a absolute ban after the 15th week. And so, and you're going to have, look at what the Democrats
Dude, that's
have
so
done
nice. They're
on
throwing
the
a bone. If
political
you're
side.
raped.
In California, you have a bill in front of our assembly that talks about babies dying in a perinatal setting that is up to 28 days after birth, that being protected from prosecution. So they have gotten, Laura, after getting the Roe v. Wade, more and more and more
fanatics.
extreme when the rest of the civilized world does not permit any of this.
This is about abortion on demand. This is utter fanaticism, and it's burned down the court in order to try to get your way. From the same crowd that claims to be the great protectors of our entire democratic system. To Harmeet's point, Professor, the author of that Politico piece that leaked this supposed draft opinion, again, we don't know if it's draft opinion. People think it is. We don't know. But he spoke to MSNBC tonight. Watch.
This opinion that he's written, which is, just a withering takedown of the Roe v. Wade precedent. It pulls no punches at all. It's pretty brutal. And in the way it's structured, it kind of needs to be that way because of the way Alito confronts this issue of court precedent. Stare decisis is the legal term.
A lot of people thought the original Roe opinion was brutal as well, given what happened to 50+ million babies. But your response to his comment, Professor?
What?
Well, as you know, we, as a draft,
50 million babies, bro. Listen, dude, you can't do that. Every time you suck Dinesh D'Souza's cock and let him bust in your mouth, that's not a dead baby, okay? Which, by the way, Laura Ingraham did that, for the record. Fun fact, she did. She had sexual intercourse with one of the most disgusting freaks on the planet, alongside Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter did it too. Not together, but like when you were outing gay college students at your college newspaper for your ugly, horrible monster boyfriend, Dinesh D'Souza, and you were having sexual intercourse with him on the side, and you sucked his dick, and he came in your mouth, that wasn't a dead baby. That's not how this works. Yes, by the way, this is both of these things that I said is true. I don't know if she sucked his dick or not, but they did date. And also, she was doing that in her college newspaper, outing gay college students. I fucking hate Laura Ingraham so much.
That Alito would be picked if Chief Justice Roberts was not initially in the majority. He might be going with a dissent, or he may have decided that he could not sign with the majority. But the decision itself has aspects of the type of analysis that we've seen from Justice Alito, who does not believe that this right is found in the Constitution as opposed to resting with the states.
We have former DOJ Attorney James Trusty with us as well tonight. James, Bernie Sanders tweeted something moments ago saying Congress must pass legislation that codifies Roe versus Wade as law of the land. And if there aren't 60 votes in the Senate to do it, and there are not, we must end the filibuster to pass it with 50 votes. Well, this seems like the goal of the leaker. Jim, I mean, this seems pretty obvious at this point. I mean, they were ready with the politics. The second this thing
they're ready with the politics.
Dropped.
You dumb ass. You fucking psycho. What do you mean? This is a political thing. You are a political commentator. This is a political movement. This is a political move from the Supreme Court. What the fuck? I mean, why bring politics into the Supreme Court of the United States? I mean, what? Why are liberals trying to bring politics into everything? I mean, wow.
Outrageous historic moment to have a leak out of the Supreme Court.
What is this guy, Bernie Sanders? They say he's a politician. He's a senator doing politics about immediately after the Supreme Court reveals a decision. Why you got to bring politics into everything?
Historic, horrific moment into something beyond belief. And maybe as a possible way of deflecting from that concept, this Supreme Court needs to speak as one tonight.
About politics, about God. If God existed, these people would all be in fucking hell right now. Okay? They would be burning in eternal damnation if that was a thing. All of them. Look at them. They would be smited down right now in this very moment. They would literally be getting they were getting ass fucked by the devil himself in hell right now, if there was any sort of fucking justice or any sort of karma or any sort of fucking serious like punishment for these goddamn demons. Or maybe we are the demons and we're stuck here, okay? I don't know, but it doesn't seem like the way we understand it in organized religion is like really true.
Has to be consequences, Harmeet. For this individual, whoever it was, and, you know, we can guess, there are names floated out there. I'm not going to say any names on television, but there are people who've been connected to the author of the piece and who are current clerks. Again, I'm not going to get into it because we have no idea. But they're going to find out who they are. Does any of you on television tonight deny that we will find out who leaked this opinion? Any of you think we will not know who leaked this?
No, we'll find out. We'll find out who did
Turley?
it, Laura.
Turley, what do you think? Will they find out?
Well, I'm hopeful that we can. I know that Chief Justice Roberts is going to do everything.
I'm going to be
he
honest,
can.
dude.
This is the
people that keep
crisis,
talking about
not
the
just-
integrity of the Supreme Court. If the foundational integrity of the fucking main, the main fucking pillar that held up the Supreme Court didn't hold up, I would not give a fuck, okay? That's how little I give a fuck about the integrity of the Supreme Court while they were in the process of fucking deliberating, okay? No one cares. Shut the fuck up. There is no integrity. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
That soul, because the court will have none. This is the worst type of attack you can launch against the integrity of the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, James, the Chief Justice, as most Chief Justices, from Rehnquist when I clerked to the current Chief Justice, they're there and they believe that their role is to safeguard the court for future generations. And we heard a lot about the legitimacy of the court after Kavanaugh, after Justice Thomas, for whom I clerked, his confirmation, after the Casey decision, after Lawrence v. Texas, all these cases. The legitimacy of the court is called into. Well, what about now?
Legitimacy of the courts is called into question. We warned you for years. President Obama signs executive order on abortion. President Obama signed an executive order Wednesday afternoon reaffirming that no federal money will be used to pay abortion under the new health care reform law. The order follows through on a promise that the president made Sunday to anti-abortion Democrats in the House to secure their vote for the reform bill. It's probably worth saying that the pro-life Democrats as an archetype and Democrats trying to avoid abortion during Obama's first term are examples of the cultural moderation popularists have criticized the party for moving away from. The idea that like Democrats were in fucking unison defenders of abortion rights is ridiculous. Henry Cuellar is a great example of this, by the way. Obviously, there are less anti-choice Democrats out there than there ever were, but it doesn't change the reality that the historical Democratic Party was always fucking they went back and forth on it. Alito's draft. The draft already attacks gay marriage and civil rights. Oh yeah, no, I talked about this. Yeah, we already mentioned this. Tim Kaine was fucking anti-abortion and Hillary picked him for VP. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Tim Kaine in the membrane? Tim Kaine in the brain? Is that who you're talking about? How could we have lost? How could we have ever lost? This must be Bernie Sanders' fault, I think. I mean, this must have been Bernie Sanders' fault.
Tim Kaine, Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
Remember when Bernie Sanders did that?
Tim Kaine, Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
Whew. Still takes my breath away every time. One of the reasons Lewis Powell voted for Roe in 1973 was he literally experienced someone waking him up in the middle of the night begging for legal help because his girlfriend had just bled out after a botched self-induced abortion. In his book, Justice Lewis F. Powell, published in 1993, Professor Jeffries recounted a dramatic incident. Powell's years as a senior partner at a Richmond law firm. A distraught 19-year-old office helper called him at home in the middle of the night and asked him to meet him in the office. The young man's girlfriend had become pregnant. He had tried to help her abort herself, but the procedure went terribly wrong, and she bled to death. Powell went to see the local prosecutor with the result that no charges were ever filed. This incident convinced Powell that women would seek abortions whether they were legal or not, and the driving the practice underground led to danger and death, Professor Jeffries wrote. There is also an incredible amount of evidence to suggest this as well, for the record. I think 6 million women a year in this day and age worldwide still suffer, okay, permanent injury as a consequence of back alley abortions. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's be clear, Jack, this ban is dangerous. Directly violates women's constitutional right to choose. We must stop it. As president, I will codify Roe into federal law and ensure this choice remains between a woman and her doctor. Look alive, Jack. No, he won't. Christopher says, I voted for him to prevent Trump and keep some calm at the top. We knew he wouldn't get much done with such a divided House and Senate. Liberals are already defending him. I'm done, dude. I hate politics. I hate it. No wonder people fucking don't care. Because the people that do care are disgusting cucks. I despise them. They're horrible monsters. Like, you're a bad person, dude. You're literally such a fucking pathetic turbo cuck that you have become like an evil person in defense of a negligent, criminally negligent institution. The people that literally fucking care. Lamau 2019. I know it's an old tweet, you fucking idiots. Someone wrote a response to it recently, like 19 minutes ago, and then someone 2 minutes ago defended that response. I know it's a 2019 fucking tweet. What's wrong with you? I understand that. It is a lie from his campaign. My point is, Democrats are already running to fucking defend his inaction before he even did it. But some of you fucking idiots are more focused on correcting me and getting an own. Oh, lol. Streamer thought a 2019 tweet was new. I know it was a 2019 tweet, you fucking idiot.
Institutions, and I'm afraid that's unlikely to happen at this point.
You know, I was thinking about tonight.
Got him, dude. Fucking got him, dude. I got Streamer, dude. He was fucking wrong,
obviously
dude.
He's retiring. He's been a stalwart champion of a more liberal judicial activism on the court. I've had the chance to meet him a few times. He's always nothing but pleasant and nice anytime I speak to him. Very genteel individual. I mean, what is he thinking tonight? This is the court he's leaving behind, regardless of what he thinks about the outcome. I mean, there are tons of outcomes, Chris, over the last 40 years that conservatives were disgusted by. And I talked and wrote about most of them. But the idea that anyone would celebrate the smashing of...
Oh my God, dude. I want to smash the fucking walls of the...
100 years to the start of the court.
Nothing.
The modern
I'm not
court.
saying anything. If I say more, I'm going to get in trouble, okay? Like I said, I wouldn't even care if the fucking... The structure of the court itself, the building itself crumbled, okay, before our eyes. Who gives a fuck?
Activists, including Marxist intellectuals, have really run a long march through the institutions. And their theory is very simple. We get our people into the institutions. We change those institutions from within. We violate democratic norms. We go in an anti-democratic process simply by dominating the bureaucracies. They believe they can do the same thing with the courts as they've done to universities and other prestige institutions. And unfortunately, to a certain extent, it's working. That's why conservatives have to adapt. We have to come up with new strategies and tactics to start pushing back on the left's institutional dominance before they're really taking this democratic shell and then putting whatever they want inside.
Right. Well, it's become their pattern, and it's by any means necessary. Whatever they have to do, whether it's ripping down a statue or smashing Andy No in the head, or blowing up sex education in school and turning it into something very different. They'll do it, and they'll say, "Oh, you're an outlier for complaining about it." That's what's happening tonight with this leak at the court. And Kurt, this 2019 New York Times piece reminded everybody that back in the 80s, it was Senator Joe Biden, who's supposedly a devoted Catholic, voted to let states overturn Roe versus Wade. So that is a pretty good indicator, is it not, Kurt, of how far the Democrat Party has shifted to the most radical partial birth abortion, abortion on demand position on this one of many cultural issues.
Well, I'm not surprised at all, Laura. They've been going more extreme and more extreme and more extreme over the years.
Dude.
Right now, we have a Supreme Court nominee who wouldn't admit that she knew what a woman was.
Well, she's not a nominee.
Not yours, bitch. You live in CA. Now, please focus on saying more useful stuff and not just political clout grabbers.
She's not a nominee anymore. Wishful thinking there, buddy.
Yeah, and notably not a biologist. Look,
I can't. I
don't wanna
can't.
take it
I'm done. I think I'm done with politics. I don't care anymore. I'm a Republican. It's done. I'm done. I'm so done, dude. Who cares? You know? Fuck it. Why do you keep looking at your QRTs? I just want to see, because I'm mentally ill and I want to see other people who are mentally ill just like me, okay? That's it. That's the only reason. Because I'm mentally fucking ill. I can't stop myself from looking at all these other fucking deranged little freaks, these little twisted freaks on the internet, find a way to literally turn around and be like, I know abortion laws are going to be rewritten, fundamentally altering women's bodily autonomy, but how can I turn this around and be like nitpicky and fucking attack Hasan over it? Because you have a mental illness, and I do too, okay? You write that on the internet in this moment, you have a mental illness, straight up, and it's like impossible to cure it, okay? And so do I, and I can't stop looking at it. Sorry. That's it. If you want to know the real answer, it's because that person is mentally ill, and so am I, and I can't stop.
Right, and the technique is this: if you delegitimize a country's founding, if you delegitimize a country's constitution, and if you delegitimize a country's history, you can take kids and then adults in any direction that you want. And so we're entering, unfortunately, almost a post-constitutional phase in the minds of many people who believe that the Constitution is an old document that upheld racist values. And when that disappears, when that commitment is evaporated, you enter very dangerous and very scary territory. And I'm afraid we've taken another step in that direction tonight.
Panel, thank you both. Here now is Republican candidate for Pennsylvania Senate, David McCormick. David, now this issue, because politics, we're off the court now into politics with you, because this issue of life for the Pennsylvania voters has been really important for years and years and years. There used to be pro-life Democrats. Wait, Casey, thank you very much. Right. But you and your chief competitor, Dr. Oz, differences on that issue. Your reaction to tonight's news?
Well, first, as you were just saying, what an earth-shattering breach of trust that is just a further evidence of an assault on our institutions. So it's a really scary and sad day that we would see this happen in our Supreme Court. And then second is just this is if in fact the decision of the court turns out to be what was in this brief, this would be a huge step forward and a huge victory for the protection of life, which is certainly where the conservative and Republican Party is in Pennsylvania and a number of Democrats. And this is an issue on the campaign trail. It's already been a flashpoint. I'm someone who's pro-life, has been pro-life, and this is something where my primary competitor, Mehmet Oz, 3 years ago to this month, had spoken out on a Breakfast Club interview about his concerns about this very scenario, that if Roe v. Wade was overturned, that the states would put in more restrictive policies regarding abortion, more pro-life policies. And so this is a flashpoint. This is something the voters of Pennsylvania want to talk about. And it's within the context of the broader culture war that you're speaking of, this push by the extreme left, whether it's the question of transgender transitions in schools or whether it's the history that's being taught about America. These are all flashpoints where parents and voters in Pennsylvania are feeling like the extreme left is taking our country in a dangerous, dangerous direction that's going to erode the very foundation of our country.
David, think about, like, you're obviously a West Point graduate. You're an Army Ranger. You served your country in uniform.
Look how happy he is.
Based on the principles that America was worth defending. that America's principles were worth in some
Come
cases
on, Laura.
even.
Tell us, is America even worth defending if the Supreme Court has a leaker? Go ahead, say that.
Founding as we do, but when we stop loving our institutions, our separation of powers.
Oh my God, she's saying it. She is saying it.
Is all part of that wrapped up into that narrative.
Is America worth saving if we don't love our institutions unconditionally?
I don't think so. Not if we don't love ourselves first.
Why aren't they celebrating right now? Because they're already winning. They need to because
we live in the most exceptional country in the world. That it's been the leader in terms of creating liberty, prosperity, human rights, equality relative to anyone else in the world, with all our challenges and mistakes. That recognition is being lost. And we see it being chipped away where people, Americans, Pennsylvanians, no longer trust their leadership and their institutions. And, you know a lot more about the Supreme Court than I do, but that was always...
Bro, can you, by the way, for the record, like, this turns swing states into fucking... Ooh, shit. I mean, it's not entirely related to like the elections in general. It's state legislatures that are going to have a profound amount more power now. And Republicans dominate that, for the record. They dominate it even if they're losing. The way that they've gerrymandered seats, they are so effective at taking control of state legislatures, no matter what happens. But of course, this creates a system in which, like, swing states, for example, are not just going to become like red states. Swing states will now also literally undermine your fucking rights. Like, oh, sorry, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Oh, shit, Georgia, back to red. Let's go, baby. You know? Boom. All of a sudden, you have anti-abortion legislation being passed in your state out of nowhere. Fuck. What is she? Biden H's all doctor support gender affirming care. Okay, she's moving on to like all right, we're back. Now we're moving on to transphobia on the white power hour. Very cool. Can't wait to see what Tucker Carlson has to say about this. Oh my God, I want a video game sometimes. This is one of those times when I want a video game. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Other than that, it is so fucking hopeless. It's so pathetic. I hate the left. I hate the right. I hate the liberals. I hate everybody. Not you guys, obviously. I love all of you. But like everyone else outside, not the Normans either. But like everyone in politics is just fucking awful. Where the fuck is the live stream for CNN? CNN is on ad break, so reminds me I need to be on ad break as well, because at the top of the hour there's a 60-second ad break and I forgot to run it again at the top of the fucking hour. I believe. Did I run it? When's the last time I ran mine? Yep, 1 hour ago. At the top of the hour there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Anonymous donated. Can you go into further detail about why abortion being illegal is bad for women besides hookup culture, which is inherently evil? Yeah, abortion has nothing to do with hookup culture, and hookup culture is not inherently evil just because you can't get pussy, okay? That's cool though. Hookup culture is inherently evil because women won't fuck me, so I think that they shouldn't be able to, they should be forced to carry pregnancies to term, even if they get fucking raped. Great. Good stuff. Thanks, dude. That's cool. What a take, dude. What a brilliant fucking take. Anyway, here's the 1 minute ad break now. I think they meant it in a West Elm Caleb kind of way. I don't know what that means. Bro, why is Joanne Reed giving further ideas to Mr. Alito? Mr. Alito, you know what else the Constitution doesn't reference? Racial equality, the right of black people or women to vote, desegregation. She's giving him ideas. Stop tweeting. Yet all of those things were affirmed by previous SCOTUS decisions. All right. Oh no. All right, let's see what Don Lemon has to say.
He is with us tonight as part of the delegation with Speaker Nancy Pelosi on her visit, her surprise visit to Kyiv this weekend, but also here to talk to us about what is happening, the possibility of Roe v. Wade being overturned, and Politico's reporting tonight. Congressman Meeks, thank you so much for joining us. What's your reaction first to this breaking news on this draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, it's horrible. Let me say what Senator Klobuchar said. It's not the decision yet, but should it be, it's a game changer for America. It's a game changer for women and women's rights to control their own body, to repudiate well-established law. It is, why every year we do talk about when you vote, you need to, Republicans apparently and the super conservatives, they're voting judges. It is dangerous what is taking place right now. And as some of your other guests have said, those that are affluent, they'll be able to go from one place to another to have an abortion if they have to. But those who are poor, they will be victimized. There's no question about it, because that's the history before the decision. So this decision, should it be true, should it remain the same, would be absolutely devastating to who we are as a people in the United States of America.
Thank you for responding to that. And of course, we still have the war going on in Ukraine, so I want to switch gears now because that's a big story as well. I know your congressional delegation spoke to President Biden about your trip to Kyiv. What did you tell him about your meeting with President Zelensky?
CNN is off it already. CNN's like, all right, let's cut the Lockheed Martin video. By the way, that's not even a joke. Joe Biden is at a Lockheed Martin facility today. In Alabama. He went there. I forgot to mention that. They're looking for $33 billion extra, and I think the amount of money that we're spending on Ukraine is going to be nearly identical to Afghanistan by the end of that, if that bill goes through. Democrats, at least with a little bit of smart legislation for once in their fucking lives, is trying to tie that $33 billion support to Ukraine, which is going directly to our defense industry, by the way, of course, with a little bit of COVID funding. But the Republicans are like, fuck no, shut the fuck up. And Democrats are like, okay, we're sorry that we even brought it up. So there's that going on currently. And Biden literally went to Alabama, to the facility, the Lockheed Martin facility, to, celebrate the workers there on the fucking bombs that they're building and stuff. And I shit you not, the morning edition of the NPR news bit celebrating this decision straight up had they cut another Lockheed Martin ad basically. So there's that too. Now, obviously, this does not undermine the safety and security of Ukrainians, which are having a really tough time. Mariupol has been evacuated, but even after Mariupol was there was 1,000 still civilians that were surviving in the basement of the Azovstal steel plant. Some of them were allowed to leave. Okay. And Russia immediately started bombing, so their situation is fucked as well. So, things are just bad all over the place, dude. When's the tipping point for revolution? Was the straw is the climate change ruining the planet, or our rights being taken away? No, none of that is going to be a tipping point for revolution. Volatility that will necessitate a revolution will only come in a country like the United States, or any country for that matter, when people are hungry. And people are not hungry. They're really fucking fat. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't mean that in a Tim Pool kind of way, but people are really fat. That's why they fucking cry on Twitter. Okay? Because when you can still eat, okay? When you can still eat food, when you still got food on your table, all you're going to do is fucking bitch on Twitter about whatever fucking other leftists you can fucking point the fingers to, or Bernie Sanders is the reason for why this is happening. Some minor changes may come from how angry people are at this Supreme Court decision, potentially. Who knows? Stop saying Marat theory. This is literally like foundational political theory, okay? Please stop fucking diluting serious analysis by saying Marat's bread theory, okay? That's not just Marat's bread theory, you fucking idiots. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. Twitch brain-rotted dumbasses, dude. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done for the day. I think I literally have a fever coming on. I've whipped myself into anger so much. Over this process. I don't want to fucking... Okay, see you tomorrow.